In our previous videos, we have understood that just because JavaScript runs inside browser, we get access to a lot of other web browser APIs to do certain kind of things that is not present inside JavaScript. So JavaScript do not have any concept of timer or making network requests, as we are seeing it here. These are all a part of browser ecosystem. And because JavaScript runs inside the browser, we can access the other ecosystem that is present inside browser that is altogether also known as web browser APIs. Timer and network request is a part of it. Why it is called APIs? API stands for Application Programming Interface. So browser gives you access to some functions through which you can interact or do something with timer. So for timer we have set timeout and set interval. Similarly, whenever we want to make any kind of network request, we use APIs like XML HTTP request and fetch. We have already seen how functions like set timeout and set interval gets executed inside web browser APIs. We have also seen how the structure of browser looks like now because we have access to call stack, we have callback queue, we have event loop, we have web browser API. So how does they communicate to each other? So whenever there is any API that we are using inside our JavaScript code, and that is a web browser API, it doesn't get executed inside call stack at the same time. It goes inside web browser API, it waits for it. Once the execution is complete, it goes to callback queue and waits there. And the job of event loop is to communicate between call stack and callback queue. And the rules that it follows is only when call stack is empty, event loop will take the first function from this queue and put it inside call stack. So in this video, we are going to see how can we make network request using JavaScript code. So here we have index.html file, and here we have our JavaScript file. We have talked about it is to make network request, we use a special function or a special web browser API that is present inside every browser known as XML HTTP request. If you look at it, you can understand it is a function, right? Otherwise, you can just go ahead and test it by saying type of. So it is a function. Another thing is the function is starting with capital letters. It means that it is a special kind of function also known as constructor. So how do you call a constructor? So you use new to call the constructor. We'll go ahead and say new. And we know whenever you call a function with new, putting the parenthesis is optional. You can or you cannot. It's totally your choice. And we also know that whenever you call a function with new keyword, it returns an object. So let's store that object inside a variable and we'll call it xhr, which stands for XML HTTP request. We'll press enter. Now, if you look at xhr, you will see it is an object. As we have already discussed that new always returns a new object. So when you expand it here, you will see that it has a lot of properties. And most of the values here are null. Why is that? It is because we are going to add those properties right now. If you look at the Dunder Proto, it will have some methods. Methods like onAbout, onError, we have open. We also have something known as send. The reason I'm mentioning these methods is because we are going to use these methods to make that network. We have understood that XML HTTP request is a web browser API provided by browser, and we can use those APIs inside JavaScript to make network request. So let's go ahead and do the same thing that we were doing it here in our code now. So we'll create a variable named xhr and we'll say new XML HTTP request. We know that it is going to return a new object. One thing is whenever you're making any network request, you always make a request to an URL, something like this. So here if you look at this URL, you will see that this is a URL using which you can get some data from there. So you're saying api.github.com/users and the name of the user. So here I'm just saying Geron. So this is the username. You can change this username to something else. I can just change it to my own username. And as soon as you press enter, you'll get the basic information of that user in the form of JSON. Similarly, you can go back and it will display the information about this specific username. So here, the first thing that you see is XHR object inside the render proto, it has a method known as open. So using this method, we can open any URL. So here what you can say xhr.open. So what you're saying is like, I want you to go ahead and open this URL. So I'll copy this URL from here and we'll paste it here. So as soon as you press enter, here it says that failed to execute open on XML HTTP request. And here it says that two arguments are required, but we have given only one. So what is the problem here? If you go ahead and say xhr.open, and when you type comma here, you will see that the first thing that xhr.open needs is a method. Then a second thing that it needs is the URL. And we are passing URL as the first thing. So here, let's pass the first thing, that is method. So there are things like get. Get is used for getting data from that URL. So from this URL, I want to get this data. We have something like post. Post is adding some new data to this API. So using post, you can add some extra data. Then we have something as put. Put is used for updating the data. Say for example, here the login name is Gereon. What if I want to change it to XYZ? I will have to do a put request. Similarly, the last one we can also have is delete. So depending on the type of method, xhr.open is going to act. So right now, what do we need? We need access to this information here. And whenever you need access to information, you use get. So we have created the object. Next, what we are doing is we are instructing them to go ahead and make a get request to this specific URL. So now, once you have given them the URL, what you need to do is you have to set up some other things. So when we look at XHR, you will see that it has a lot of property. It is called on a bot. This is on error. This is on load. This is on load end, on load start, and a lot of other methods that you'll get. But let's focus on what we need right now. So what I want XHR to do, go to this URL and get the data from there. As soon as you are done loading the data, you have to call some function because the data loading is going to happen in future. So these are some of the callbacks that you can give it to. So you're saying that go ahead, fetch some data, and once the load is done, you have to pass whatever is inside onload. So onload is done, then call this function. So once onload is done, means the loading of data is done, go ahead, call this function. And here we just need to add a callback function. So what we will do, we'll say xhr.onload. And one thing to note is, inside onload, we need to write a function reference or function definition. Why? Because we are not the one who is calling this function. XHR is going to call this function whenever the data is loaded. So it is going to happen in the future. So when you will call it, how will XHR call it? So here, what we are going to do, we are just going to say console.log data loaded, and we'll press enter. Now if you look at XHR, you will see that inside this, you have already added a function to onload. So whenever onload will be done, this function will be called. So now what you have done, let's just recap. So first thing you have done, you created an instance of XML HTTP request. So XHR is an object with a lot of properties and method. So we are going to use the first method, that is xhr.open. Open is going to help us with opening the URL. It accepts two parameters. The first is the method type. And here we need get request because we want access to the information. Second parameter is the URL. So I'll copy this URL from here and put it right here. So we are done doing second things. The third thing that we have done is we are adding some event handlers to it. So we are saying XHR, whenever on load is done, you have to call this function. So we'll be like, okay, go ahead, call this function in future when data is loaded. And here all we are doing is saying console.log data loaded. And at last, what you can do, because you have created an instance, you have given them the URL, you have added all the event listeners. And at last, what you can do, you can just say xhr.send. So if you look at the XHR object here, you will see inside the Dunder Proto you have a method named send, and send is used for sending the network request. So we'll save this file and refresh it here. As soon as you refresh, you see a console message saying data loaded. Now let's go ahead and look at XHR. What do we see here? We see a lot of new information here. Because if you don't do all of it, like say for example, I go ahead and comment it and refresh it here and look at XHR object, you will see that all this information is empty. But as soon as we uncomment it, so when you look at it, you can see that all this information on load, response, response type, response text, all of it is empty right now. But what if we uncomment this and refresh it again and look at XHR? You will see that in the starting it is going to be null and everything. But as soon as you provide them a URL and you send the request, and you also added a callback function to onload, whenever it is done, this function will be called. And that's why we see the message data loaded. Here we can see that just because data is loaded, we have response and it has all the data that is coming from this URL. Here we have response that has all the data that we need. Then we have response text, response URL, and the status that is 200. 200 means successful request. And you must have seen something like 404 somewhere. So 404 means something went wrong, means the request that you made from the network is not successful, but 200 is successful. So now what has happened is we have sent create an instance, open this URL with get request, and we are saying whenever the data is loaded, you have to call this function. But this one is not useful at all because it is just logging the message data loaded. What if instead of logging data loaded, we say XHR is an object, inside that you will get response key, and that is what we need. So we'll refresh this, and here what do we see? We see that information right here. But this one is of type what? Like if you want to look at the type of it, so with type of we can understand the data we are getting is a string kind of data. But accessing this information from string would be impossible, right? Why not convert this data into an object kind of structure by using json.parse? Because json.parse accepts the data and converts this into a JSON format. So that is what we are going to do now. So we are going to log json.parse, whatever is the value inside response key of XHR, go ahead and log it. So we'll refresh it here. Now what do we see? We see our object kind of structure, right? So from here, you can access any of the information. So what you can do, I can just go ahead and put this data into this function by saying let user data is coming from XHR the response, and we are passing it. And here we need the name of the user. So we'll go down and we'll see, okay, it has a property name. So we'll say user data dot name. If you refresh it here, what do you see? You see Dan Abramov. So we are getting the information from this URL and we are displaying that in our application. So this is how you make request. We'll get to understand a lot more in details about these things in our next video. But here, what we try to do, we try to use a web browser API that is present inside browser. Because JavaScript runs inside the browser, using this API, we can interact with them in JavaScript application. So you make requests like this. So first you create an instance, and then using open method, you tell them what kind of request you want and where do you want that request to go. Then you add some callbacks to specific loaders like onload, onerror or something. And here at last you send the request. And here we get access to the information coming from this URL and we can use it here.